Namaste, angels. This will be our weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, September 23rd through Saturday, September 29th, the last week of September. Only one more day of September after that, Sunday the 30th, and then October is here. Today, the day on which I'm doing this reading, is the 21st. Well, actually now it's the 22nd. It's 12:05 a.m. So it was the last day of summer. Now it's the day of the fall equinox. A day which is said to be 12 days of daylight and 12 days of nighttime, dark. What else? All right, let's get into it, because there's a bunch of stuff happening on the 24th. Now, the 24th, I always tell you guys that, many things happen on the same day. This week is no different. Oh, before I go into that, let me remind you guys, because I just remembered, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and then click on the notifications button so that you'll know when I post a video. You already subscribed to the channel because people have been falling off, and that's why I just remembered to mention this now. People who did not want to fall off have been falling off, and then realizing suddenly that they didn't receive a notification and they're all bummed and stuff. So to avoid that, check your subscriptions, make sure that you're still subscribed, and make sure that the notification bell is still checked and your settings are right there, that you're getting all the messages that you wish about the videos that I put up. Also, thank you for that, and for liking and sharing as well, of course. All right, so yeah, there's a bunch of stuff happening on the 24th. The first thing, we're going to go to Our Lady of Mercy from the Christian calendar. We'll just move out of this all the way, and then I think I'm going to do the Jewish calendar after that, and then we'll go to the celestial system, because there's a much more stuff happening in general there that I want to talk about in detail. So the feast day of Our Lady of Mercy is, of course, a celebration of Mary. It's otherwise known as Our Lady of Ransom. And for this, I'm just going to go to wikipedia.org to get a quick blurb about it. The Feast of Our Lady of Ransom is a Roman Catholic liturgical Marian feast. Marian just means about Mary. Okay, in the general Roman calendar of the year 1960, it was celebrated on the 24th of September, commemorating the foundation of the Mercedians. Okay, that is a group of nuns. After the Second Vatican, Vatican II, the name for the Marian commemoration on the 24th was changed to Our Lady of Mercy. So it was first Our Lady of Ransom. The Feast of Our Lady of Ransom is no longer included in the general Roman calendar, but continues to be celebrated in certain places and in the order of those Mercedarians. Okay, so that's enough of that. There's further information for people that want to read more about Our Lady of Mercy, and I got it from Wikipedia, but I'm sure it's located in many places. Also, on the 24th, Sukkot starts on the Hebrew calendar. For that, I'm going to go to looks like www.wikipedia.org as well. Sukkot, commonly translated as the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Ingathering, is a traditional Ashkenazi pronunciation. It is a traditional Ashkenazi. I guess that they didn't word that right. Sukkot, commonly translated as the Feast of Tabernacles or the Feast of Ingathering. Traditional Ashkenazi pronunciation, Sukkos or Sukkos, literally means the Feast of Booths, and it is a biblical Jewish holiday celebrated on the 15th of the 7th month, Tishrei. Right? I had to stick in some conjunctions and commas and stuff in my head. All right. It varies from late September to late October, depending upon how the calendar is on a given year. During the existence of the Jerusalem temple, it was one of the 3 pilgrimage festivals on which the Israelites were commanded to perform a pilgrimage to the temple. Sukkot has a double significance. The one mentioned in the book of Exodus is an agricultural in nature. I guess sort of like the other event that happens on the same day, the harvest moon. It's the feast of ingathering at the year's end and marks the end of the harvest time and thus the agricultural year in the land of Israel. The more elaborate religious significance from the book of Leviticus is that of commemorating the Exodus and the dependence of the people of Israel on the will of God. The holiday lasts 7 days in Israel and 8 in diaspora. The first day and the second day in the diaspora is a Shabbat, meaning a Sabbath day. All right. It's a Shabbat-like holiday when work is forbidden. This is followed by intermediate days called Choi Hamoed, when certain work is permitted. The festival is closed with another Shabbat-like holiday called Shemini Atzeret. 1 day in Israel, 2 days in the diaspora, where the second day is called Simchat Torah. Shemini Atzeret coincides with the 8th day of Sukkot outside Israel. The Hebrew word Sukkot is the plural, or the plural of the Hebrew word Sukkot, another strange wording here, is sukkah, like with an H at the end, and it means booth or tabernacle, which is a walled structure covered in plant material such as overgrowth of palm trees. A sukkah is the name of the temporary dwelling in which farmers would live during harvesting, a fact connecting to the agricultural significance of the holiday stressed by the book of Exodus. As stated in Leviticus, it is also intended as reminiscence of the type of fragile dwellings in which the Israelites dwelt in their 40 years of travel in the desert after the exodus from slavery in Egypt. Throughout the holiday, meals are eaten inside the sukkah, and many people sleep there as well. On each day of the holiday, it's mandatory to perform a waving ceremony with the 4 species. And if you want to read more about Sukkot, I got this from www.wikipedia.org. I'm sure you can find it in many places, or come here because there's more on this page. In New York, those of you who live here, you may have seen, like in some of our parks and stuff, over the feast day of Sukkot, or the festival, the 7 days, the 8 days, you'll see little tents like set up in the park, and maybe you might see Orthodox or Hasidic Jews gathering or whatever. That's what they're recognizing, Sukkot. All right, so can I go to the planetary system now? I think so. Let's do it. Oh no, I forgot one thing. It's so important too. I almost forgot because I was going to jump to the next event on the 24th, which is the full moon. So in my excitement, I was about to move away from the Christian calendar, forgetting that on Saturday, the 29th, is a very important feast day, the feast of Saints Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, archangels. This holiday is also called Michaelmas because originally they were all celebrated together, and it sort of has morphed into a day in celebration of Michael specifically. But I'm going to read about all three. And for that, I'm going to www.franciscanmedia.org. Saints Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael's story. Angels, messengers from God, appear frequently in Scripture, but only Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael are named in the books that they haven't pulled out, at least. And I'll tell you a step further. Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael are named, but you'll notice where you've heard Gabriel and Raphael, it says the angel Gabriel. The angel Raphael does not say the archangel. The only archangel referred to as an archangel in the scriptures is Michael. And he's actually not referred to as an archangel. He's referred to as the archangel, as in the only one. That's just a bit of trivia, I guess. Okay, maybe I'll go a little further later. Let me get back to what it says here actually on the page. So I ended where they let us know that only Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael are named in the scriptures. Michael appears in Daniel's vision as the quote unquote great prince. All right, maybe I got to pick up here. Who else is known as the prince? Well, there's two other princes, right? The prince of peace and the prince of darkness. Prince of darkness even used to be an angel of the light. He was the morning star until he fell. That left two princes of the light. The Prince of Peace and this one, the great prince. Michael and Jesus. Amen, right? I told you Jesus also is amen. So if you want to take it back further. They are also the only two beings referred to in the scriptures as the long suffering. Jesus is, and the Archangel Michael is. Those, again, pieces of trivia for you from me, not written here. All right, so I'll go back over this now. Michael appears in Daniel's vision as the great prince who defends Israel against the enemies in the book of Revelation. He leads God's armies to final victory over the forces of evil. Devotion to Michael is the oldest angelic devotion, rising in the East in the 4th century. 4. He's on that card too, at least in the Angel Tarot. He's on the Emperor, Major Arcana card 4, which is the Emperor or Mars. Follow all of this. Mars, of course, again, the masculine planet of love. Prince of Peace is also the Prince of Love. Or he is love, period, right? God is love, Jesus is love, the universe is love. Okay. So the church in the West began to observe a feast honoring Michael and the angels in the 5th century. Gabriel also makes an appearance in Daniel's visions, announcing Michael's role in God's plan. His best known appearance is an encounter with a young Jewish girl named Mary who consents to bear the Messiah. Raphael's activity is confirmed to the Old Testament story of Tobit. There, he appears to guide Tobit's son Tobiah through a series of fantastic adventures which lead to a threefold happy ending: Tobiah's marriage to Sarah, the healing of Tobit's blindness, and the restoration of the family fortune. The memorials of Gabriel and Raphael were added to the Roman calendar in 1921. The 1970 revision of the calendar joined their individual feasts to Michael's. See, so he had his own day. Michaelmas, like Christmas. Each of the archangels performs a different mission in the scripture. Michael protects, Gabriel announces, Raphael guides. Earlier belief that inexplicable events were due to the actions of spiritual beings has given way to a scientific worldview and a different sense of cause and effect. Yet believers still experience God's protection, communication, and guidance in ways which defy description. We cannot dismiss angels too lightly. So you're probably saying, like, well, if those are the only ones that are mentioned, like, where do all the other ones come from? They are in, again, books that were removed, like the book of Enoch, parts of Genesis that were removed from the Bible and the Torah, like where Uriel was, who stood on the mountain. And actually, this is also, I think, in the book of Enoch. Uriel standing on the mountain, he sees the devil trying to come into the paradise and warns everybody. Uriel, God's light. So he, shown that he was like the gatekeeper too, standing and watching, shone the light over it. Oh, I see interlopers trying to come in. He reported it. Of course, there's talk about Enoch himself having ascended without actually dying, then turning into Metatron. So there are other angels, and what we call to whom we refer now as archangels as well, in other books that have been removed from the scriptures as most people know them. Saints Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael are the patron saints of death, Germany, grocers, police officers, and radiologists. Saint Gabriel is the patron saint of broadcasters, and Saint Raphael, the patron saint of the blind. Oh, another interesting thing, another name for Michael, the archangel, is the sword. He's referred to as the sword many, many times. Guess where the moon will be located on September 29th? On Michaelmas. At 1:26 p.m., the moon enters Gemini. The sword. How cool is that? All right, so other stuff that's happening. I'll go to the celestial events calendar. My little notes here. So on the 24th, the same day that Sukkot begins and the same day as Our Lady of Mercy or Ransom, is the full moon, 2 degrees Aries, 0, 0. That's the location, the longitude. This occurs at 10:52 p.m. 2 degrees is like 11, of course. Many 11s and 2s showed up in my full moon reading, which you probably will have seen by the time you see this one. I think I'm going to post it first. On the 25th at 8:12 p.m., Chiron retrograde, which has been located in Aries for several months now. I think since like October of 2017, if I remember correctly. Been located in Aries. It's entering Pisces on September 25th at 8:12 p.m. And then lastly, this doesn't really fall into this week. It's next Sunday. So it's next week's reading, but we might feel the effects of this toward the end of the week if, you know, it's possible. This is a big one too. September 30th at 10:03, 13, 4, 11, 11. Pluto, which is currently retrograde in Capricorn, goes direct. 18 degrees, 45, 9, 9. So that's going to be big too. Speaking of Capricorn, also in my full moon reading, Earth energy popped up. And it is the harvest moon, so that makes sense, right? That's Earth energy. But I kept feeling and saying Capricorn, Capricorn. And I had to look, I mean, it was after the reading, but I had to look and see, like, what's up with Capricorn? Sure enough, there is a square between the sun in Libra and at the beginning of the week. So I think it was Monday or Tuesday. The sun in Libra and Saturn. And that was the intense thing. So other than that, Pluto is, again, retrograde in Capricorn. Saturn had also been retrograde in Capricorn, is in shadow. And there is one more. Mars had gone into Capricorn for a while, and it is back in Aquarius. All right, so Pluto's the only one that's in Capricorn, and it's going direct. Let me tell you a little bit about what it means for Chiron to be going into Pisces for a while. So for that, I brought up this, I don't know this astrologer, I'm not familiar. It was like something that popped up. It was written by him on March 15th of this year, 2018. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of when he starts talking about Chiron going back into Pisces, because like it had been in Pisces. It went into Aries on April 17th, not October. It went into Pisces on April 17th, into Aries rather. And now it's going back into Pisces, and then later it'll go back into Aries. It will remain until the year 2027. So this is like a big transit. All right, so it's important. So I'm on this www.josephadeo.com, and the title of the article blog is Chiron at the Final Degrees of Pisces, Winter 2018. Maybe I should just go ahead and read the whole thing. Chiron is finishing up its transit through the sign of Pisces before its Aries ingress on April 17th. 2 days before this ingress, Mercury will have station direct at 4 degrees Aries. So again, 4 is that number that represents Michael and Mars and the Emperor, which is Mars is the ruler of Aries. So we got to pay attention to these numbers. That places it in a position to drag Chiron along with it from out of the underworld into a new beginning. Mercury is very much playing his role as psychopomp, guide of the souls. He is an emissary to Hades who pulls us out of the darkness and the depths of the collective unconsciousness of Pisces into a new beginning and clarity of Aries. There is a summoning of the dead in order to bring new life. Chiron at the last degrees of Pisces asks us to analyze the wounds of the collective unconscious, the entire world, our spiritual past of pain and suffering that has existed not just from recent history, but for eons, ages, and millennia. Before we can have a new beginning, there must be a collective analysis of the past, our collective dreams and nightmares. What do we have to sacrifice and surrender in order to foster a healing? What percentage of our dreams have achieved, and which ones have turned into nightmares that need healing? How have we been enslaved is a Pisces conundrum, and it's a question that should be debated. Pisces is a mutable water sign, therefore it has to do with processing information on a feeling level. How is information processed via the heart as well as the mind? It's about the shadow of our collective belief systems, the shame and guilt that has been associated with some of them for centuries, and how to move past it. In Greek mythology, the centaurs were depicted as creatures of raw instinct, prone to rape, violence, and all forms of drunkenness and lasciviousness. Chiron was the exception, and because of that, he was honored as king of the centaurs. He was a teacher, healer, philosopher, and wise soul who passed on knowledge and wisdom to many heroic figures left in his care. He was an ennobling teacher, bestowing spiritual values. One of the biggest movements and revelations we see as Chiron transits the last decanate of Pisces. I'm sorry, decanate. Like decante, what the fuck is that? Decanate of Pisces is the collective pain and suffering that we have around male sexual abuse. We have been aware for an extremely long time of male sexual abuse, but most often things are left to the courts in severe cases. Otherwise, there's been little done other than to say, boys will be boys. And it's funny because I said this was written in March, but recently we have had just a large number of the Catholic Church cases rising, most of which involve boys, actually, not girls. The Me Too movement is monumental in its effect to change all that and to attempt to heal sexual behavior and sexual role models for both men and women. The sex scandals of major political and Hollywood figures involve men such as Harvey Weinstein and Roy Moore, who have been sacrificed on the altar in order to bring about a massive shift in consciousness. There is a major shift as the debate on the Second Amendment, gun control, and the right to bear arms escalates. The energy is more extreme since the recent shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. It feels different from all the shootings that have occurred since Columbine. As a matter of fact, the Valentine's Day Parkland, Florida shooting happened on an eclipse. We, as astrologers, know that eclipse cycles repeat every 19 years. 19. Therefore, this is the 19th anniversary of the Columbine shooting, an event that sprung forth the eclipses 19 years ago. The two sets of eclipses, separated by 19 years, mirror each other through these events. 2018 is the time to take matters to the next level. The Never Again movement may now carry more weight and power in the same way the Me Too movement has gained meaningful traction. Recent news has slightly sensitized us to the plight of the DACA dreamers, DACA, the immigrants, who are seeking asylum in the United States. There are many who came here illegally in the Piscean form of lies and deception, and who try to remain invisible. These are the types of lies and deceptions that stem from surrender and sacrifice in order to find salvation. Many of these dreamers felt it necessary to be obscured and to remain in the shadows. Obviously, there are some whose lies and deception to get into the USA nefariously, but that's not what the DACA dreamers are about at all. Now there was an opportunity to offer Piscean compassion and to assimilate these people legally into the fabric of society. The United States of America is built on so many immigrants who dreamed of a better home as they escaped from the poverty and suffering in their homelands. This country's foundation stands strong upon the dreamers of all kinds who immigrated here to manifest their dreams. The Piscean magnifying glass begs us to continually deal compassionately with immigrants and their plight. It's the source and root of so much of the American dream. It's kind of ironic that this week is also the celebration of Mexican independence. It began on September 16th and it goes through September 27th. Like basically Mexican Independence Day, but like week. Chiron's entrance to Aries coincides with a month of Uranus entering Taurus. This is an important combination of outer planets. Chiron, having recently done its purging of past collective wounds, now wants to make new beginnings in Aries based on what we've learned. The action is needed in a cardinal sign because based on the processing, debate, and discussion in a mutable one. Uranus in Taurus will unground old style values as it tries to ground us in new ones. It will also be a rather uncomfortable energy as it jolts and discombobulates the Taurian inertia and conservativeness. Taurus does not like change. Security issues will definitely be on a roller coaster ride. Uranus in Taurus, hopefully more stable and secure. We will either get more secure with the daily chaos and do nothing about it, or rebel against the old, worn-out, stale traditions and try to create new ones. It's important not to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as there are many traditions from the past that are highly worthy of maintaining and tweaking. Uranus has to nurture intellectually with concepts and through ideas that help society as a whole. Uranus and Taurus can polarize people towards groups and affiliations that represent their values, thus separating and divorcing us further from each other. There are so many wounds surrounding gun violence, sexual abuse, and immigration tied to our collective guilt and responsibility. At the core, what is needed is a deep spiritual and philosophical discussion and a shift around our beliefs toward these issues. Chiron in Pisces has dug up the deeply embedded underbelly of society and mirrors to us that which we have swept under the carpet and been blind to. There is a miracle which is needed, and it's about dissolving the underbelly and transcending to a higher level. The shift of consciousness is occurring now in Pisces, and the new beginning will be implemented in Aries. Chiron will retrograde back into Pisces on September 25th, 2018, and will enter Aries once again on February 17th, 2019. That's just 2 days short of the sun entering Pisces. It enters Pisces on February 19th, which will be 2/19/19 that year. Anyway, it will remain there until 2026-27. There is duality to Chiron. He is half man, half beast. So he alternates between the physical body and the higher mind. It is a planetoid that bridges the gap between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn represents the limits of the material world and our personal connection with it. Uranus is the first of the 3 outer planets, which represent more psychological complexes and things beyond our earthly knowing and existence. Uranus wants to free us from the chains of Saturn that bind us to the material world. I said that exact same thing in the full moon reading. I felt it when I held up these 2 cards. You'll see when you watch. Chiron bridges the gap between the 2 worlds so that we can honor both the inner and outer landscape of our existence. In casting the Aries ingress chart for Chiron in Washington, D.C. on April 17, 2018, we see Pisces rising with Chiron at 0 degrees Aries, bridging the 1st and 2nd houses. Uranus is in Aries, firmly in the 2nd house. I would suggest that there is a bridge in our identity as a country. We're becoming more aware of the healing of the wounds of our outer appearance and of our aggression that are visible to the world. It's time for a truer and deeper sense of our core values, resources, and substance. I think our country's resources such as oil, the stock market, and money in general will have to be urgently dealt with as Uranus enters Taurus. And some of you may remember I said similar things that I was feeling about Uranus being in Taurus, but that was probably about 2 months ago, a general reading. Pisces rising suggests the country is still lost and confused and asleep in a sort of a dream state. It may not be ready to let go of the past. The 2 rulers of the ascendant, Jupiter and Neptune, trine one another from the 1st and 9th houses. Another like 19, suggesting that there is a great deal of discussion about war, religion, spirituality, foreigners, immigration, and philosophical belief systems that need processing and healing, since the water signs are involved. These 2 planets have strong beliefs and opinions, and the trine doesn't necessarily mean they'll get along. Everyone will be firmly resolved that their beliefs are the right ones. With water so highly emphasized, it's important to look to the past and to learn from it. Let's see if Chiron can bridge the gap. Expect all of the above issues to be debated and continually processed during Chiron's back and forth motion over the cardinal point, keeping it at all firmly planted in the public eye for at least another year. On that note, going to the cards, beginning with the 4 of Fire. Contentment, peace, and abundance. A happy home life and the successful completion of a project. And yet another 1111. This is about commitment, yes, finishing projects, maybe actual even work done in your home. It's like a hearth and home card. So however you find peace, or wherever you find peace, like, you know, the home is where the heart is, that sort of thing, is what this card is about. Did the camera just jump around and move? What the hell? I had it like this. Okay. Yeah, all right. Speaking of home being where the heart is, opening to the 10 of Water, a contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. You have trustworthy relationships. Both of these cards can be seen in the moon reading as well. And opening to yet another 4. It's the 4 of Earth, being too frivolous or too cautious with money, good business decisions, and giving to those less fortunate. This is about our foundations. It doesn't have to be with money either. We could be too giving or not giving enough with ourselves too, with our emotions, with our energy. Or just enough, and we could be doing the right things. With the 4 of Earth opposite the 4 of Wands, we could be, again, you know, good business decisions, signing some sort of contract or something that's going to better our situation, give us a more stable foundation on which to stand. And opening to the 10 of Fire, too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance. That creates stress-related health concerns. The 10 of Fire, yeah, it does indicate that one person perhaps may have been carrying like the brunt of the burden or the whole burden themselves, and it's time to stop doing that, you know, to put the wands down and let somebody else help or something. But here's another 10. also of fire, basically, because it represents the planet Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, fire sign Sagittarius. And it is Major Arcana card number 10, the Wheel, with Archangel Michael. A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. This card, or the energy of the Wheel and Jupiter, also connected to the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and who did I leave out? Scorpio. I had to think about the elements real quick for a second. Which one was missing? It was water, earth. And speaking of water, Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot with Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Four of Earth. And the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. Ooh, there goes an orb or something. Four of Earth and the Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth in the situation. A challenging beginning. The Ace of Air is also about victory. And when it says a challenging beginning, it's like it was difficult getting here. You know, we had to go through the maybe trials and tribulations, carry the wands, the bunch of the burden, whatever. We're here now, right? It also can mean that some of the road ahead may be a little bumpy too, but again, it's a new beginning. Four of Earth, I'm gonna cut. Eight of Air. This could be that energy of the restriction of Saturn that we just talked about, or Capricorn. An illusion of being trapped. A lack of self-confidence, being afraid to take action. Yes, I realize it's swords or air and not earth, but this gives me this similar feeling to the devil, right? It's an illusion being trapped. Like you're not really trapped, you're not really stuck. It's fear, it's ego, pride, lack of confidence, lack of esteem. It's all those things. Overall energy is the Nine of Water. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away and you have a love of life. The Nine of Water is very much like the Star. Major Arcana card, the Star, right? Wishes granted, prayers answered, dreams coming true. It could be yes or no question. It's like a big resounding yes. It's just a really good, feel-good card. Crowning the masculine, the Five of Fire, competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. It can be conflict. It's not necessarily conflict, though. This card also comes to me and did so during the full moon reading also as a card of action. It's sort of very aggressive. Mars, Chiron even maybe, Aries, do like by any means necessary sort of energy. But yeah, it can be drama. It can be conflict. And where it is, for me, the way the energy tends to be felt by me is that it's either inner turmoil, like you are conflicted about something, maybe involving a fire sign, or it's conflict like with close friends and or family, or maybe at your job. Masculine surrounded by the Two of Fire, which can also be seen in the full moon reading. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. So I talked about this briefly when I was shuffling with the Four of Earth. I said you could be signing some sort of important contract or something in connection with the Four of Fire. So maybe it's a partnership like cohabitation, marriage, some sort of commitment, any number of things really. Starting a business together. This is the general reading. And in the masculine subconscious, there may be an actual like legal situation that can be to the positive. Maybe, again, signing documents, getting married. It doesn't have to be actual legal situation. Just where you got to do the right thing. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Major Arcana card, Justice, number 8. 8, which is all about karma and stuff. And here's another 11 here. Represents the sign of Libra. Crowning the feminine, it is the King of Earth, another character that was present for the moon reading. Generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. Feminine, you have the Midas touch. Like everything you touch turns to gold. You could be, offered jobs you didn't apply for. Just things coming your way. Good time to apply for credit or, whatever you need. Assets, apply to, make a purchase or to sell an asset, and, this might be a good time. Feminine, surrounded by the 7 of Earth. Seeds are well planted. That's why you can harvest now, because you did, you planted the seeds when you needed to. You might be able to temporarily pause in action, however, this week, says, or at some point this week, but any worry would be unnecessary. Just be confident that you planted the seeds and you're going to get to harvest. Feminine subconscious. Major Arcana card, the World, with Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. Major Arcana card, the World, may have something to do with the party of 3, 21 equals 3, or third energy, maybe even work, your job, or your finances, right? Having been stuck in a situation or felt stuck, left yourself stuck in a situation for a long time. Maybe you're finally coming out from under, you're getting out of debt, or you're purchasing a home or a car and, some sort of asset or something that you hadn't been able to for a long time. All those are possibilities. A relationship, maybe involving an earth sign or a fire sign, because for me, the World has the energy of fire. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I feel fire when I pick it up. And also, contrary to other people, it doesn't mean like, oh, the world is your oyster, the world is in your hands. That's not what it means for me. It's like finally I can breathe, like a waiting to exhale, like, oh, I just felt like I was buried. I was in prison. I was miserable for years and years and years, and it's finally over. That relationship is finally over. I'm finally out of that job. I can quit. I can move on. I'm finally out of that house. I was staying with people that didn't care for me and I didn't care for, a funky roommate or your parents or your kids or whatever it is. Coming out from under. Crowning. The 6 of Earth, sitting right next to the King, is beautiful. You know why? Because this is also about like getting credit, loans, grants, money that you never even have to repay. It just comes at you, gifts, people helping you out. Maybe somebody hook you up with the down payment. It's that sort of thing. Gifts of money, time, or effort. It can be that too, just exchanging time. It's unconditional love for me. And as it relates to romance, that's what it's about, unconditional love. And it's Venus, right? The planet of love. All her elements are here. I see them. Here's the scales of justice or balance, which is Libra, right? And then here's all her Taurus energy. And then see all this like crazy bipolar looking white smoke and stuff. That's Gemini. Yeah, but it's people giving to one another just freely without agenda. And also not only giving, but receiving from, like being able to receive. That's what this card is about. But I love it sitting next to the King of Earth again, because, this is about stuff, abundance, coming your way. And it's because you did the right things before. You filled up the karmic bank maybe with positive stuff, good karma. At the root, the 2 of Earth, too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. For some, there's an actual, again, legal decision that has to be made. A judgment being handed down. And you're awaiting it. For others, might be a legal matter, again, as in like a partnership or something, but nothing negative. Then some are juggling 2 relationships, 2 jobs, or several hours at the job, and it's just too much. It's just too much. Moonlighting, trying to get your own company started while working at your real job. You're just tired. That could be the 10 of Wands. You're just exhausted and your pressure's up and you're stressed out. And you just got to decide, like, what am I letting go? And where am I going to give it to the universe, give it to God? Where am I going to trust that my abundance is coming in? Where am I going to have faith? 2 equals faith. Two can equal relationships too, but 2 equals faith. Where am I going to hand this over and say, I'm not going to worry about this one, right? Worry is unnecessary. Remember? At the heart of the matter. Major Arcana card, renewal or judgment. And I just said judgment has to be made. Yeah. A 2, again. So again, more faith, more relationships perhaps. 2 also equals 11. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Well, for me, judgment can be about an actual judgment, a legal judgment, or somebody making a judgment call, a decision. Can be about being overly judgmental, like hard on oneself or other people. We should avoid that, especially when we see this card show up. It means like watch your karma. The major arcana, more so than the minor, attached to karmic energy, like the planets and stuff. As it relates to work, career, finances, abundance, again, coming your way. Abundance that's due you because you've earned it. In this case, nobody's doing you a favor or giving you a gift or whatever. This is yours. Your bonus, your raise, your promotion, your elevation. This is the universe picking you up, God uplifting you, right? Sometimes God gives us promotion. That can be this too. And where he does, where the universe does uplift us, that translates down here, as above, so below. So you can still be coming into one of these things, raise, promotion, bonus, and then maybe some extra stuff. Maybe somebody's giving us something too, just for no reason. Or because also, again, because we've earned it, but we've earned it like through our good karma, filling up that karmic bank. So you like paid it forward or something. Now you're collecting. You made deposits a long time ago with your good works, your kind works. Now you're collecting. Now somebody's giving you something. This can also be about relationships. Again, with the number 2 especially, but sitting here next to the 2 of fire, absolutely. This is still a general reading. It's sitting above a 2 also, the 2 of earth again. Still a general reading, so it doesn't have to necessarily be romantic relationships, but absolutely it can be. The 2 of fire, the divine union card of the tarot, as I'm sure you guys know. And when judgment shows up as it relates to a relationship, it's like maybe we haven't been able to figure out previously how to move forward. Or we feel like we've moved as far as we can go and like we're stuck. And like, now what? The judgment card is about having come to a place of figuring out, facing it and figuring out where do we go from here? If anywhere. Sometimes people don't go anywhere else. Sometimes that's the end of the road and that's the end of it. And then we, divorce ourselves from something or someone, whether legally or as in just to make a split. And that can be what justice is about, doing the right thing as that's concerned, especially crossing judgment, which is about the need to do that, to make a decision. What's next for us, if anything. Let's further clarify though, by going to the animal tarot, beginning with yet another 2 of summer. We just saw one, here's one again. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. So that's like what I was just talking about. Opening to the 7 of winter. This could be the energy that's trying to ruin them, however. Right? This is the energy of joy stealing for me. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. So like I just said too, watch your karma. Now you got to be aware of what others are doing behind your back, but you can't control what they do. So you watch your reaction, your actions and your reactions. 2 of summer. And another 7 of earth, 7 of autumn. Got one here, here's one here. Two of summer. And Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, find a new teacher, or spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. The Hierophant represents the sign of Taurus. Opposite, the Two of Summer can definitely be about commitment, possibly even marriage, or making adjustments otherwise to your surroundings, people, places, and things, you know, removing what doesn't belong so that you have better relationships, you know, that you want to have. Two of Summer and another Four of Autumn. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building walls that keep people out. That sounds crazy right now after having read about immigration, building walls to keep people out. But we can't, what they're saying is be mindful that you don't do that around your heart, right? We've got to be able to give and receive. Four of Autumn. And it's the Queen of Autumn. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. And speaking of 19, the overall energy is Major Arcana card number 19, the Sun. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve, right? You earned it. Major Arcana card, the Sun, represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot, but Earth's star, the Sun, rules the sign of Leo. Atop the Five of Fire. Here's that Neptunian energy and Piscean energy we just read about. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. So didn't I just say before, this could be representative of Mars or Chiron. This is the Chiron and Pisces right here together. So it's about that dreamy energy and getting it figured out, and maybe having to face some things through which we've been over this period. You'll know which ones apply to you of what we just, you know, talked about, the type of things that are involved in it, and you'll know what applies to you and what you need to face. And maybe you never have. Maybe it's something you put away years and years and years, even forgotten about. Sometimes that can happen when you've been traumatized. You can block something out completely and, you know, have it begin to come back to you when you face it. Top the Two of Fire. Major Arcana card, the Devil. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. There could be some partnerships that should be no more. And maybe that's why it's sitting next to Judgment. Some partnerships that need to go. Possibly involving a Capricorn or fire sign, but doesn't have to be, of course. Major Arcana card, Ego, is the Devil in the traditional tarot. Yeah, and what I'm getting is like, how do I want to say this? You know, when you want to leave a situation, but you're like, I can't leave this job yet because I need, you know, like another paycheck. I can't leave this relationship yet because, you know, whatever. This is something that you feel It's not time yet. Like, I can't afford to let this thing or person go. I can't let this person go because of this thing. Like, the universe is saying, like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Like, this is when you're supposed to be deciding to take action. You've been guided to take the action. You're supposed to be deciding to take action and not worry that, like, you're not going to survive. You're not going to be able to get by on your own or whatever it is. If you in this thing, whatever this person, place or thing to which you are, like, married, chained, bound, you can leave it, and you're guided to leave it. You know, to whom that applies. It's not everybody's supposed to break up with their with their partner. But if you've been one of these people that's been receiving guidance or wanting to leave a relationship for a while, or like I said, a job, a circumstance that you felt stuck in, and you felt like, I can't because, you know, money or stuff or whatever, the universe is saying again to have some faith, some two. All right. A top major arcana card, Justice. And where you're masculine sitting here wanting to do the right thing, this is what's on his mind. The universe is saying again, yes, I will support you in doing the right thing based on 17 equals 8, your karma, and you wanting to do the right thing. This is 2 8s. Based on that, I will support you, but you got to affirm, okay, I trust you, universe. I trust you, God. I'm out of this thing. And we'll let the chips fall where they may, sort of, attitude. You're about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism. See, told you. Fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. Major Arcana card 17, the Star, has the same energy, by the way, as the 9 of Water, but stronger because it is Major Arcana. It represents the sign of Aquarius, where Mars is currently located, and can also be about communications and technology and things, and maybe electronic communication by means of technology. When I picked up the 9 of Water, also facing in the same direction, the Ace of Earth, the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, and important documents or contracts. So that could be it too. Again, you're going into a business, maybe you're fearful, we don't have the money, we don't have the whatever. Again, this is throwing caution to the wind and getting started. The universe is here to support you and to help your dreams. Here's the dreams that they want you to take action on. Help your dreams to come true. That's what the Star is about, dreams coming true. Feminine, for us, atop the King of Earth, the 4 of Summer. Like, use it or lose it. If you don't take advantage of this opportunity, it sort of goes to waste, and you miss it. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. So again, you got the King of Earth here, sitting here next to the 6 of Earth. That's definitely some sort of financial opportunity, or opportunity to surround yourself or be surrounded by some sort of abundance. Could be love too, but you got to pay attention, and you got to be optimistic, and not sink into like the 4 of Cups sort of, oh, it's never me, I'm not that lucky sort of thing. Atop the 7 of Earth, the Queen of Winter. Whoop. All your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. Right? All of this work that we've been doing, the karma that we've been putting in the bank, prepared us for this moment of truth, for the harvest, where we're reaping what we've sown. To prepare, it's time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. All right, especially if you are in a temporary pause in action, good time to make those adjustments. The Queen of Winter is experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. She's a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Atop the world, in the fire energy that I said I feel from it, is more fire. The 7 of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. That's how you're going to avoid letting an opportunity slip you by too. Atop the 6 of Earth, it is the Prince of Earth, the Prince of Autumn. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny, the Knight of Earth, basically, of Pentacles. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action steps and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn, maybe another character, could be your energy too, but now he's going to be sitting here atop the 6 of Autumn or Earth next to the King. He too, like the King, is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Top the 2 of Earth. It's another 9 of Summer. This is those of you looking for a job, and I talked about that. I felt that in the moon reading. I said it was with regard to the 3 of Summer. I said I feel like some of you looking for a job. Don't give up. Job is coming. Abundance is coming. And you might be surprised, like a really, really good one, or the one of your dreams or something like that. And now this is showing up here, the 9 of Summer. So it's something, again, that you wanted. If you're juggling relationships or moonlighting, whatever, the situation works out as you would have hoped. And remember, again, also we have the sun as the overall energy, so that fully supports that. We got 2 9s of Summer, though. You can't really beat that. And with the star, too. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's yet to come. And at the heart of the matter, our top major arcana card, Judgment, is another Justice. Major arcana card number 8, again representing the sign of Libra or other air sign perhaps. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. So yeah, you want to be on the right side of right, and you're going to be reaping this harvest if you are. Then in light of Our Lady of Mercy, I wanted to get some advice from Our Lady of Mercy. Beginning with compassion. I see and feel others' points of views with forgiveness and kindness. Isn't that what we just read? Try to see all sides of a disagreement. Yep. So Mary co-signing that one. And be strong. I pull myself up and do what needs to be done. Compassion, I'll just give these a couple shuffles. Quiet, I go into peaceful silence and I listen. Compassion and giving and receiving. I balance being generous and receptive because both are equally important. There's a lot of evidence here also of the sun having entered Libra. I don't think I mentioned that, but Libra, 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 all over the place. Compassion. I'm going to go ahead and cut. Blessing. Today I count my blessings, small and large, and notice the new gifts that come to me from God. Overall energy is prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about the situation and bring about real solutions. So this is what I was talking about, giving something to the universe, giving something to God instead of worrying about it. And lastly, Archangel Michael advice, beginning with positive thoughts, create positive results. Divine love and wisdom, I call upon you now. I know that my mind and emotions are eternally and continuously connected to you. I ask my higher self to be aware of, conscious of the love and light that is within every person and situation. And opening to energy healing work. Thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me for my own blessings and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. That could be suggestion from Michael that some of you needed, and you'll know who you are. Positive thoughts create positive results. Guarded and protected. Thank you for protecting me and ensuring that we're safe and that all of our needs are met. I now accept your help gratefully and gracefully, knowing that it's right for me and all others to accept heavenly assistance. You know what? Let's go ahead and cut. This situation is already resolved. I give any worries, cares, and concerns to you. What have I been saying this whole reading? Give it to the universe. Give it to God. I give it to you in exchange for true peace in all ways. Thank you for resolving this, and you can insert a personal situation there if you like, in a divinely perfect way. It's time to leave this unhealthy situation. Or we're not excused. Archangel Michael, what parts of my life do I need to focus on to more closely right now? Thank you for helping me to hear your answers and for giving me the courage to make healthy changes in my life. Okay, further advice specifically to the masculine from Archangel Michael. Pay attention to your dreams. And it's so funny because we have the dreams here and we have the star here again, which is about dreams coming true. And the 7 of summer about fantasizing, dreaming, setting goals, making decisions, at least in the way that I read it. That's what it's about. Thank you for tucking me into bed tonight and helping me to enjoy a wonderfully restful night's sleep. Archangel Michael, I invite you into my dreams as my teacher, guide, and healer. Please allow me to understand this. And again, you can insert a specific situation if you like. And you're asking him to help you to understand it on a spiritual level and to give you guidance. Feminine, for us, you created this situation and you have the power to change it. Thank you for letting me lean on your strength and for reminding me of my personal power. Please guide me to manifest and heal according to divine will, creating peace and blessings for everyone involved. From Mary, masculine, to you. Present moment. I am fully present in the here and now. This situation is stuck in the past, right? You've been feeling stuck. So that's what you want to remove yourself from that and deal only with now and your forward movement. Doing what's right for you. Feminine, from Mary. Jesus. I pray for Jesus's help and guidance with this situation. I liked that showed up because after I made all those comparisons between Jesus and Michael, hashtag catch. I don't know if you did or not. From the Animal Tarot to the masculine. Major Arcana card 16, the Tower. Life experience, but they call it the Tower. I mean, they call it life experience in this deck, but it is the Tower in the traditional tarot. Important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you, especially when you got 2 Justice cards and a Judgment card sitting in front of you. Feminine, from the Animal Tarot. It's that 3 of summer that I talked about that I saw in the other reading, the moon reading. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. I felt that it could also have to do with a job, getting a job or something. 3 of summer can also be about reunion, possibly with your romantic partner, love or something. Remember, judgment is under here and deciding what to do. Where do we go from here? Maybe you're going to get back together with a Libra. That's a possibility. But also, yeah, I was feeling job, and with the reunion, it does not have to be romantic. It can be like friends from your past too, because with all this energy of the full moon and everything, we are revisiting a lot of past situations and rectifying them once and for all, with the help of Aries and also Chiron. The wounded healer. I left that part off. That's the Chiron, the wounded healer. From the angel tarot to the masculine. Jeez. It's another devil. A false sense of entrapment. Being overly focused on material things. Negative or fear-based thoughts. Masculine. It's time for you to get your confidence up. You are supported. You are loved. On this plane and above, as above, so below. You can call on people for help, call on divine beings for help, your own ancestors of the light, be specific, because not everybody was good, even if they're related to you. Angels too. Some angels are bad. Angels of the light, be specific, if you want to, work with angels or whatever. Or just whatever, you feel, to which you feel connected, your higher self, the universe as a whole, God, no angels at all. It's up to you. But whatever you must do, and on whomever you must call, it is time for you to get rid of this addiction, bad habit, low self-esteem, bad living condition, or toxic living condition, toxic job, toxic relationship, whatever it is, codependency upon something, someone, someplace, or they, or that thing, or whatever, upon you. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I don't know how else to say it. Get rid of it. I feel like this is deja vu. Did we have a reading like this last week too? Where I said, leave this thing alone. Oh, it was my daily. You know what? I might go ahead and share the daily for the weekend and for Friday into the weekend, because something similar occurred there. We'll see. All right. And also, lastly, for the feminine, the King of Air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air, like the Queen that's sitting here, is a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and can be the lawyer or judge that's associated with any legal situations that some of you may have, with justice having shown up twice and judgment having shown up once, and then also the 6 of Earth up there. You could have that there. Maybe some of us seeing a doctor or something, maybe about the addictions, but this is the feminine's advice. So yeah, I think more often than not, he's somebody with whom you have some sort of exchange or relationship this week, or he is a lawyer or a judge, or maybe a realtor, car salesman. That too. This could be something like that also, with whom you have exchanges this week. Positive exchanges is what I feel is coming your way. And with the card show, you didn't just have to go with my feeling. You saw it for yourself with your own eyes. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly reading. Do like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Hit the notification bell. Even those of you who are already subscribed, especially those of you who say, I didn't get a notification, what's going on? Check out your settings. I don't know how they do it, but people they kick people off, or people fall off. It's just weird. It could just be my channel. Who knows? But do check it out if you're interested in fixing it and remaining subscribed and continuing to receive the notifications. Thank you, viewers, subscribers, and to my Patreons, sponsors, and subscribers there as well. Namaste, angels.